Hear it. I want to hear it.
We want to hear
this. Go for it.
First off,
Yeah.
you seem to not understand that these were not undocumented immigrants who were getting these Social Security numbers. They are non-citizens. Now, when you came to this country, you were an immigrant. Your parents came legally.
Right.
Every single one of those people who got those Social Security numbers are here legally. They're not citizens, just like you weren't when you first came to this country.
Yeah.
You get a green card. Your parents get a green card. They go through a process.
Yeah.
All of those people, and to understand, they got their...
What's up, everybody? Jackson here. And this Sam Seder appearance on the Patrick Bet David podcast centers on a specific factual dispute worth checking carefully, a viral claim previously made on the show alongside Elon Musk about millions of new Social Security numbers going to illegal or undocumented immigrants. Seder pushes back hard, arguing the actual program in question issues numbers to legally present non-citizens, not undocumented immigrants, and that the numbers explicitly can't be used for voting. I want to break down what's actually verifiable here, because this is exactly the kind of specific factual claim that either holds up or doesn't. Stick with me. Get that like in. Get subscribed, because we check the numbers before repeating them. Now let's get into it.
Help your community out. Help your party out. There are certain policies that you keep pitching that is no longer popular, that's been exposed so many times, because what we learned, like the biggest part why some of the conservatives like the Doge concept and some of the Democrats that like the Doge concept is it's government wasted expenditure. Obama talked about it. Clinton's talked about it. People on the left, they've talked about it for many, many years. And the average person watches this and says, okay, so after 4 million, you want to put the tax rate at 90%? Yes, I do. Okay, so all you're saying is that the government knows how to use my money better than free enterprise? I don't believe that.
Well,
so that's where the argument stops.
That's not the premise of why I want to do that taxation. I mean, the government will redistribute the money, and
that's no longer a popular idea in America.
I
That's the part where you see the young Turks kind of growing and evolving and seeing some of the ideas that kind of is not popular.
I listen. The fact of the matter is government always redistributes money. It always redistributes money. Every government at every moment is redistributing money. The question is, which direction is that money flowing? That's it. There is no doubt. Governments redistribute money at every moment. The question is, which direction
are they at it?
What?
How successful have they been at it? How good are they at it? How much waste have they done with redistributing money?
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. Like, look, we have a massive, massive military budget. And if you want to look for waste and fraud in government, that is where you go. That's where all the money is. Everybody knows it. There's an enormous amount of waste and fraud. They can't even get through an audit. How many audits has it been? Half a dozen? Social Security,
Pentagon.
And they can't pass a single audit.
I agree.
Social Security is audited all the time. Do you know how much money? Let's talk about this for a second. I watched the video of you guys on the plane down of when Elon Musk was in Wisconsin blowing up his whole brand, essentially. And he was on stage with a guy named Garcias. Do you guys remember this video?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It was like 2 days ago.
Yes. The Social Security numbers spiking in the last 4 years.
The Social Security numbers.
2.2 million new non-citizen Social Security numbers. Yes.
And the amount of misinformation from every single person, all of you, was astonishing to me.
What was it? What was the misinformation?
Well, I almost feel like we should go through the whole video.
This is coming from a socialist.
No.
The level of credibility you have as a socialist.
Yes,
progressive system that has never worked. But I want to hear it.
That is anti-oligarchy.
But I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
We want to hear
it. Go for it.
First off, you seem to not understand that these were not undocumented immigrants who were getting these Social Security numbers. They are non-citizens. Now, when you came to this country, you were an immigrant. Your parents came legally. Right. Every single one of those people who got those Social Security numbers are here legally. They're not citizens, just like you weren't when you first came to this country.
Yeah.
You get a green card. Your parents get a green card. They go through a process.
Yeah.
All of those people, and to understand, they got their Social Security
see your point
card.
Here. I really want to see your point.
Well,
here.
the point is, you referred to them as undocumented and illegal.
No,
you
no,
did.
I said non-citizen.
No, excuse me.
Don't say everyone here. I said non-citizen. Correct yourself.
I can't remember which one of you got it wrong. I think you did.
Just be
right?
specific.
You're thinking, but I
we can play the video and go through it, but
I'm still trying to get to the point.
I just want to make.
Point?
Well, the point is, they're not illegal.
Yeah.
They're not undocumented. They're all legal.
Right.
The expansion from that program, the EBE program, which is enumeration beyond entry, was started under the Trump administration. The numbers have gone up because, yes, under Biden, as opposed to Trump, there was an expansion of people who were here, probably, I'm not sure.
A lot of illegals.
Excuse me.
10 plus million.
Not a single one of them.
Breaking number of people.
Hold on, you're changing
in.
the subject now.
No, I'm not changing the subject.
I'm talking about that video.
Yeah.
And every one of those Social Security numbers.
Let's get into the actual factual dispute because it's specific and checkable. The core disagreement is about a Social Security Administration program called Enumeration Beyond Entry, which issues Social Security numbers to certain non-citizens who are legally present in the country, including green card holders, refugees, and people with temporary protected status. Seder's argument is that conflating non-citizen with illegal or undocumented is a meaningful factual error, since these are legally distinct categories under immigration law, and the program in question specifically serves people who are here through a documented legal process. That distinction, legal non-citizen versus undocumented immigrant, is not a matter of interpretation. It's a specific legal classification, and it's worth verifying directly against Social Security Administration documentation and immigration law definitions, rather than taking either side's framing on faith on the claim that these Social Security cards can be used for voting purposes. That's also a specific, checkable fact about how these cards are formatted and what restrictions are printed on them. And it's worth confirming directly against SSA documentation if you want to settle that particular point definitively. On the claim that the program's usage increased under a specific administration, whether a program expanded more under one administration versus another is a factual, checkable claim about policy and enrollment data over time, and it's worth verifying against actual SSA program statistics rather than accepting either side's characterization, since both political sides have real incentive to frame program growth trends favorably to their own narrative. Now, to be fair and add nuance here, even if Seder's core factual correction about non-citizen versus undocumented holds up, that doesn't automatically settle every downstream policy question, like whether current enrollment levels in this specific program represent good or bad policy, or whether concerns about program administration are otherwise legitimate. A factual correction about terminology is a different thing from a complete rebuttal of every underlying policy concern, and it's worth keeping those two things separate rather than assuming winning the definitional argument wins the entire debate. On the broader characterization of Patrick Bet-David's business background, including his prior company's business model, multi-level marketing companies are a real, legally distinct business structure from traditional business models, and they've drawn substantial public criticism and regulatory scrutiny across the industry broadly for structures that can disproportionately benefit people at the top of a recruitment chain, whether that specific characterization fairly applies to his particular former company is worth checking against its actual business structure and any regulatory findings, rather than accepting a general characterization without that verification. Here's what I leave you with. When a specific, viral factual claim, especially one involving numbers and immigration status, gets repeated across a big platform, it's worth pausing to check the actual underlying data and legal definitions. Before treating it as settled, regardless of who's making the claim or which political direction it points, the dispute in this clip hinges on a real, checkable distinction between legal and undocumented status, and that's worth verifying directly rather than taking anyone's word for it, including mine. So tell me, when you hear a viral statistic about immigration or government programs, do you go check the primary source, or do you tend to trust it based on who's presenting it? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more of these breakdowns, then check the numbers at the source, get subscribed, because that's exactly what this channel is here for.